Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Gents and Two Cents. Everything you need to know for the Week 8 NFL, excluding Thursday, where you got real talk, real sports, no filters. I am Mark, the betting shark, and here is my lifelong friend, Fofty Moon. Take it away, Foff.
Yeah, how we doing, y'all? Welcome to the show. Maybe welcome back. Got a lot to talk about, a lot of news that came out in the past 7 days, along with a lot of injuries, big upsets. Some we saw coming, others not so much. As we'll find out in the quick little recap, I was terrible betting against the spread last week. Mark, however, went positive for a first show, so great start for him. What do you think of the Giants' halfway comeback last week?
I couldn't believe it. I was still right on the spread. I feel bad for him. That their kicker's gone. Do you see the kicker got canned? Kicker got kicked. It's a heartbreaking story. The Giants, they worked their tail off, but they crumbled. I don't know if that's coaching, that's players, but to blow that big of a lead and then lose in the final seconds, man, that's tough. That's also karma for doing my boy Jones dirty.
Yeah, well, it's been a bit of a trend for them the past few weeks. They've blown a lot of fourth quarter leads. Still, considering what was going on with their team, and in the past few years, Dable's trying to hold on to his job here. So they looked good going into Denver and scoring that many points, but really had no business losing that game. And it was an exciting fourth quarter, but nonetheless still a loss. Not good for them.
No, honestly, I think that one boils down to coaching. I think they were probably celebrating before the game was even close to over, got complacent, and they just didn't execute. I put that on Dable.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, your Indianapolis Colts went in and made a little bit of a statement, kind of going into L.A. for the second time this year and righting the wrongs they had the last time they were there.
Yes, sir. So, like I told you, this is a huge identity game, and it came out this week. Everybody was saying this will tell the story on the Chargers and the Colts. I don't know how much you listened to about the Colts, but going into this game, everybody was saying, are the Colts for real? The Colts are pretenders. Everybody they play is, look at their record. They're playing these garbage teams. They beat the Broncos. They got lucky. Whatever. We should have arguably beat the Rams if Adonai Mitchell didn't drop that ball. Yes, I'm going to bring that up every week until we win the Super Bowl. But yeah, made a big statement. And if you listen to the talking heads now, they are saying the Colts are for real.
Yeah, there's really no reason to believe that they aren't, in my opinion. Their offense is, while some of their games are against lesser opponents, they've beat who have been on their schedule and have been in every single game they played. And like you said, arguably should be undefeated. And they've been good on all sides. They've had games where their defense has really showed out and made turnovers, and their offense has been very, very efficient. Been able to run the ball, run a lot of play action. The tight end, Tyler Warren, that you all drafted, has been kind of amazing. If I was in your shoes, I don't know if I could be much happier. I mean, probably couldn't have expected it to nearly go this well year one with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, no, I agree. Wasn't expected, but, that you can ask the guys at work once the news broke that the starter was named Daniel Jones. I mean, the whole thing is, not to go down the rabbit hole with the Colts, but we don't need a rock star. I mean, the Colts have had this team for at least a couple years. We've had this team. You had Gus Bradley, you fired him and brought Louis Anarumo, but I'd say the biggest thing is we just needed a game manager, and that's Daniel Jones plus some. I think he's got some explosive plays, but we didn't need a Hall of Famer. We just needed somebody to run Shane Steichen's offense, and that's what we got.
Absolutely. Well, along with those two games, there were a few others that, while maybe we didn't expect a certain team to win, we didn't expect them to get beaten this badly. Cleveland at home beat Miami 31-6. And while I would say both of the teams aren't on the better side of good, losing to any team by that amount is a bad loss, and somehow Mike McDaniel still has his job.
Yeah. Tell me, Foff, is that seat getting hot yet?
It was hot before the year started with all the Tyreek Hill stuff. I don't know.
It's smoking.
How it could get much hotter, but they've got problems, big ones.
They got problems. Do you think that Tua just gets confused which guy he's supposed to throw to?
He almost looks like he's forgotten how to throw a little bit, and he's missed a lot of balls. And it's not like his offensive line has gotten that much better. his weapons have definitely lessened quite a bit. So I mean, I think that part of it, that offense being the fastest in the world, kind of diminishes when you don't have Tyreek Hill. You lose Jonnu Smith, caught the most balls for them last year, and Jalen Waddle's another year older. So they've lost kind of their speed. I believe in their running back room. If you can't block and you can't throw.
Did you hear what Tua said? Sorry to cut you off, but did you hear what Tua said post-game interview?
Oh, yeah. Him and the head coach have been going
couldn't see over the line. He couldn't see over the line. He told them he couldn't see over the line.
That too. That's something you probably just keep to yourself, buddy.
Yeah. I agree. Yep, I agree. And he's benched, so going into the next game, I haven't looked. We'll look as we go through the spreads and kind of update on the injury reports, but I don't know that he's been officially named the starter. Yeah, he got benched, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Well, he got benched last week, or you mean he's been benched?
Yeah, he got benched last week.
Okay. Well, they'll probably still throw him. I can't imagine. I mean, man, he's making what, like 100 and his contract's up there too. He's making like 40, 50 a year. It's just all bad for them. I mean, their GMs, they've got big-time issues all the way up to the head office. What about the Chiefs game, them blowing out the Raiders? Does that surprise you at all or change your mind about them going forward?
A little bit. I mean, not really. I think the Raiders are licking their wounds right now. They're not a good team. They know that. They've got some good guys. Chiefs, they got their guy back. They wanted Freed. That's all I'll say. So they were pretty hyped up coming into this game. This is the team they should have had from week one. They're pretty loaded right now. So, I think they had some hype coming in. The Raiders are just, again, they're down in the dumps. Their season's pretty well over. Last time I looked at the playoff projections, I think they are already at 0. They're pretty well done. It doesn't change my opinion. I think the Chiefs are what they've been. They had no business being in the Super Bowl last year, and they don't have any business being there this year. They get lucky, and, dare I say that the Zebra Gang really is the reason they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add there. I totally agree. I think the Raiders are garbage, and I think the Chiefs are just on another level, and them pummeling them at home I don't think changes my mind about how good or how bad either of those teams are in general. It's another win closer in the division. I will say the Broncos squeaked one out, so they're still leading, but with the Colts beating the Chargers, the Chiefs are only a full game back, I believe, with the tiebreaker for the division, so they're right there. So it was important for them in that way. How about the London game with Jacksonville, seemingly their home game in London, getting waxed? Couldn't score at all, huh?
Love that for the division the Colts are in. The Rams aren't a joke. You can't sleep on them. Jacksonville's got a good defense. Travis Hunter does a lot of good things for them. It was in London. They just get the flu. Everybody gets the flu down there. Rams played well. That's kind of the outcome I figured was going to happen. Rams are just a better team.
Yeah, agreed. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer. I think the Rams defense is a bit comparable to the Jaguars defense, and even without Puka Nacua, the Rams offense looked like it had no issues moving the ball downfield, despite really not even running the ball all that often. So other than that, I think they're kind of the cream of the crop in their division going forward, potentially. Seems like as long as Matthew Stafford stays upright and stays healthy, they have a chance to win any game, in my opinion. That offense just looks electric, as a Sean McVay offense would.
Yep.
How about the old Mike Vrabel Revenge Bowl down in Tennessee? It kind of looked like it was staying close there early, and then second half, New England just kind of opened up a can of whoop ass on them. Kind of just laid them out. It could have been 40-0.
But before I dig into that, I got an update for you. Tua is starting this week. Yep, against the Falcons, he is starting. So okay. No, I agree. The Patriots. We're back. We're back in the 2005, 2006 era. Colts, I think, are number 1 in the AFC right now. Who's number 2? It's the Patriots.
Yeah.
We're back, baby. Wow. We're back. The Patriots are back. Vrabel's back. The Titans.
Do they only have one loss?
They shouldn't have let go of Vrabel. Who, the Patriots? Pull it up here.
No, they have 2. They're 5-2.
5-2.
But I think they have the tiebreaker on Buffalo for the division.
Yeah, they beat Buffalo.
So then technically Pittsburgh would be number 2 because we would have the tiebreaker over New England. Anyway, now to cut you off.
Either way, either way, right? The AFC is exactly what it was. History repeats itself. Right? when you had Manning, you had Brady, and you had Roethlisberger. Those were the teams, and we're happily back. I don't know how long Rodgers will be with the Steelers, but I'm glad to root for another AFC team that's showing business. But yeah, Patriots, love seeing them beat the Titans. Good on them.
Yeah, seemed fitting. Mike Vrabel got his revenge. Tennessee's also another dumpster fire team. Could be winless, but they got a kind of a magic fluke game out there in Arizona. We all know what happened there. But other than that, most of the other games last week kind of went similar, or kind of how we thought. Nothing too shocking as far as the recap goes. Was there anything you could think of, or off the top of your head?
No.
Am I missing anything?
No, I mean, we'll figure out what your punishment is this week. We didn't get any comments. So remember, guys, as we close out this video, we stick around to the end. Each week, whoever gets the better spread, the better record, the loser gets a punishment. You guys are involved in that. You can tell us what to do as long as it's in the realm of possibilities, nothing too crazy. Foff, sorry, we're going to have to play with your video edit here a little bit. Cheesy up.
Yeah. It was a bit of a clunker for me, a bit of a stinker.
I loved it.
Little 3 and 10 piece. Mark went 8 and 5, so I didn't even come close. Wasn't lost on the noon games probably. So I picked a lot of dogs. I like the underdogs. Who doesn't? A lot of the favorites kind of went away in the second half. There were a lot of games that were super close in the first half, and then teams just kind of ran away in the second half, and seemed like I was always on the losing end of that. So unfortunately, is what it is. But we're back here again, picking another week spread. So hopefully, flip the script here a little bit.
Flip the script. Actually, talking about script as we move into our next segment. Do you want to talk about the NBA script?
Well, I tell you what.
Bad news. Bad news.
Very bad news for the NBA. This is probably the
betting
worst
world
thing the commissioner would want to wake up to. Learning about his own league. The NBA has been in scandals before. Of course, we know about the referee that was fixing games back in the 90s, early 2000s.
90s. Huge implications, truly.
Huge implications. A couple of different things going on at the same time that the FBI and Homeland Security is investigating. And last time I heard, already arrested 30 people. You've got some illegal poker rings run by mafia bosses.
Did you see how they were
celebrities?
Did you see how they were doing the poker? How they were rigging that?
I heard a lot of things and read up on a little bit. Contact
X-ray machines. X-ray machines.
Under the felt. There are a few people that said that was maybe part of the untrue side, but either way, there were a lot of different, AI, deckhands, invisible ink on backs of cards where contact lenses and glasses could see what cards the other players had, to where pretty much everybody on the table except a few people, including the dealer and who's running the show, were in on it. And they were using celebrities, most notably Chauncey Billups, who's the current head coach for the Portland Trail Blazers, also borderline Hall of Fame basketball player for the Detroit Pistons and many other teams for a long time. And while that is going on, Terry Rozier has been detained for potentially fixing prop bet lines of his own, as in unders and overs on points and rebounds and certain things, which is something multiple players have already been arrested for the last couple of years in the NBA. So I think this is like the third or fourth occurrence. Might be wrong on that, Mark, but something that's consistent enough now that there's going to have to be a big hammer that comes down to stop this, because it could get really ugly really fast, and we're just getting started on this. I mean, they're going to be doing a lot more investigating as time goes on.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of great points, Fall. There was one of the coaches, I believed, was actually in a game the night before he was arrested that morning. For me, I think the biggest implications are, what does this mean, right, for the NFL world? I know this is targeted at NBA, but, let's be honest, last year, lots of games, lots of questionable calls. There's a lot of notable celebrities in the NFL world that have been calling for referees to be full-time. And this is why, right? You got school teachers coming in part-time. This worries me for the NFL. If it's happening there, I mean, there's just so many games last year and this year also that come down to calls, and a lot of them are very questionable calls. Do we have this issue in the NFL? We don't know. I believe there was a game that was actually investigated about a month ago. Don't have the exact game pulled up right now, but Falf, as we go through this, I think there's going to be more to come out. And hopefully the NFL sees this and they put stricter requirements on the refs to prevent this from happening in our game as well.
Yeah, and I don't know if there are other examples, but I do remember off the top of my head, Calvin Ridley a few years ago when he played for the Falcons got busted for betting on a game, I believe at a Hard Rock casino in Florida.
Colts,
so there
Colts
has been documented
yeah.
cases of players getting caught already. Nothing to do with referees as of yet, but it's something that's already been documented of happening. So it's very serious. Never want to think anything's rigged.
So
Gambling
let me tell you
and betting
this:
has become huge money now, so it's a big deal.
I don't know if you remember this, but also Colts let go of cornerback Isaiah Rodgers, still in the league, and defensive end Rashad Berry for gambling.
When was this?
This was back in 2023.
Wow. So just a couple of years ago. Very serious stuff there. It's hard to say, if there's any sort of timeline on anything being investigated on, but the fact that the FBI is involved and they've already made, arrests, it's very much happening and it's very real. Eventually something will come out. I'm sure we'll find out more. What about the whole Ravens locker room deal with, and if you have do you have anything else to add before I move on?
No, it covers it. It's just something I think that everyone should be aware of. If you're not following it, you need to follow it. It's a pretty serious crime.
Yeah, and we'll keep covering it too as more comes out. I'm sure more info we'll give you. But yeah, the Ravens locker room deal where there was reports that games and things were being taken out of the locker room because they were playing so poorly. First of all, do you believe that even happened?
Yes. No, I absolutely do. This is an old school coach, has history in college where he deals with kids, right? So I think that some of that carries over. There's rumors of them removing video games, ball hoop, ping pong table, Super Smash Bros. I wouldn't want to be a Ravens fan right now or a player. They'd be taking away my Madden.
Yeah, I get it. You want to, hey, you think you guys are playing well, we can't get this until it's common, used in normal parenting, just taking things away and learning.
These are adults, though.
Not being entitled to it. Yeah, but that's why I think it's an issue. Like, if it is actually happening, like, to think that you need to go to that level, I think the issues are so deep that it's like,
you've lost the locker room.
You've already lost. So like
Yep.
like if it's that bad, like I just think that makes it worse, honestly. But again, I think the other thing that to me that speaks volumes to how bad the locker room could be. The report was that 25 people in the locker room, so 25 players had spoken out about this or said that this stuff was going on. The fact that you could have 25 people in your organization just talking to the media and basically telling on the organization, that to me that's already like, you got 25 people in your program that aren't even with the program, right? They're already like, oh, it's gone to shit. So I don't know. I'm a Steelers fan, so I don't really wish them well, but if they don't come out of this week with a win, and we'll get to it later, it's gonna be pretty bleak for them to get back into the playoffs. They've got a large mountain to climb.
I believe Lamar's been ruled out, by the way.
Yep. Thought I saw that. Wasn't 100% sure.
So this next game, did you have anything else to add, Foff?
Not about Baltimore, no.
So I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this next game. You got Rodgers with the Steelers versus the Packers. Huge game. Rodgers is a very, very emotional guy. Very emotional guy. He likes to pretend like he's not, but he is. So what's your take on this one?
Yeah, he's definitely 100% going to want this one. It's going to mean a lot to him. And like most games, I think it's going to come down to the line of scrimmage. I think it helps out a lot that we're at home and it's a night game. While Mike Tomlin usually doesn't fare well in Thursday night games, Sunday and Monday night games, he does very, very well. So I like the spot. Green Bay, while they can get pressure, obviously, without blitzing, their D-line, and including Micah Parsons, is formidable. But what is the one thing that you can do to minimize pressure? Quick throwing and getting the ball out quickly so the pressure can't get there. Aaron Rodgers has shown that he is the best in the league at doing that. So to me, that's what it's going to come down to. If he can get those quick tosses out and complete them out to DK and out to the tight ends, that should open up the run game a little bit. And if we can do that, it's going to come down to our defense like it did last week. We need to be able to get at least a stop a quarter. If we can't do that, I like the way Rodgers has looked in these shootout games, but I can't expect him to have to carry us on offense. It's not the way we're going to be successful in the majority of games, winning them, 45-40. We need to win a lot of these games 20-20. So if we can stop Josh Jacobs, they have a lot of good wide receivers, but I don't think they're as good as what they faced in Cincinnati. The defense has got to buck up. They're getting paid the big bucks, so they got to start playing like they're getting paid the big bucks. No excuses. I think the offense will be okay, but we can't get into another shootout. That's not what we want. So.